Here's a story about a time I was reformed. It's a story, it's more of an image for me, and I am not clear yet about exactly why it was reforming for me, but I'm clear that it was. I used to drive every day by the intersection of Neptune and Church. Many of you know that intersection, and I would go by very early in the morning there. And often at that intersection, I would see not only the fire station there, and invariably some of the firefighters and paramedics early in the morning standing outside talking or working on the fire truck. But often, like every other day, on the other side of the street, I would see an old man. I mean an old man. He was so old he was feeble. And he would be walking. He had a walker that he would be using. He was so old it didn't look he should be out by himself. He had the look about him of being a bit unkempt, disheveled, as if you wondered, was there anybody caring for him? I never saw where he came from. I never knew exactly where he was going, although I speculated, but he was often there. Very often he had a plastic grocery bag with him with that walker, and moving was difficult for him, yet he was persistent. I found myself thinking sometimes, is there anybody that's in this man's family? Who knows this man? The firefighters did. They often would holler a greeting at him as he would pass by, and it warmed me to know that they saw him even as I did. Well, one day, as I was there at the light waiting, the old man was moving in his walker and he looked especially disheveled. And across that busy intersection, the firefighters were talking, the paramedics there, and all of a sudden, his pants fell down. And he was a mess. You understand what I'm saying? He was a mess. It was the kind of moment that, you in some circles could just see as being full of derision. Ha, 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 look at that man, his pants fell down, completely down around his ankles. And it was a difficult, terrible moment for him because he didn't have the capability to stop and help himself and clean himself or pull himself up. And there in my car, I found myself wondering, what do I do? Where do I go? What's going to come of him? Who will help him? And then I saw those paramedics coming across the street together, putting on their blue gloves and carrying some rags and their own bags to help get him up and clean him up and get him going again. Certainly not their most glorious moment all week, right? Or was it? It was a reforming moment for me as to what was precious and what was important and what loving your neighbor looked like.